Radio. Studio A, freedomslips.com. Crypt Riffs I've been thinking. Welcome to the crypt.
Application denied, searching for the keys, they're locked up on the inside. Are you feeling strange? Are you just too strange? It's been such a long time since you said you were fine. Haven't had a drink in so long, you cannot think. You're feeling really lame, so you just complain. Yeah, you think you've got it. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world. Lover's new addiction, causing static friction, crossing all the lines, can't tell fact from fiction. Do you feel confused? Are you feeling used? Voyage on problems, you can never solve them. Need some time to think, you know, you're on the brink. You're feeling really plain, so you just complain. Yeah, you think you've got it bad. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to
Thank you for tuning in. Welcome, friends that are new and friends that are old. I see Eric Nagel in the chat. Hello. How long is my intro? It's the entire Darling Thieves song, Welcome to My World, because I don't know how to edit songs, and it's a damn good song. So it's like 3 minutes and 37 seconds. I don't know. Maybe it's 4 minutes because they start like on the top of the hour. Anyway, it's a damn good song and I like it. And if you were live with me checking out the stream while I was starting, you probably heard the new Rocket Suit Rogue song, Our Last Parade, because, drumroll, I'm so happy to announce that my friend Matty Lewis of Rocket Suit Rogue is hanging out with us today. I'm so happy that he is here, and it's been a while. I've been waiting for him to come hang out, and it's super exciting. It's super exciting. So one of the cool things about my guest today is that RIA Gold certified songwriter, vocalist, and guitarist Matty Lewis enters a powerful new chapter with Rocket Suit Rogue, a loud guitar-driven band built on soaring hooks and anthemic courses. Shaped by years on stages with a clear vision and a distinctive identity, Lewis channels urgency, melody, and emotion into music that feels both personal and larger than life. Known for his work with the band Zebrahead, Lewis earned international acclaim, a gold record, and extensive touring experience all over the world. After stepping away in 2021, he reignited his creative fire in 2025, returning with Rocket Suit Rogue and a renewed sense of purpose. Their debut album, produced by Cameron Webb, captures that momentum with clarity, power, and focus. By the way, the album comes out August 21st, and I'm very excited for that. At its core, Rocket Suit Rogue, or RSR for short, is music about inner struggle, survival, and the search for meaning in a chaotic world. Drawing inspiration from classic 1950s sci-fi and end-of-the-world cinema, Lewis frames deeply human stories against epic backdrops, turning the personal battles into something more cinematic and universal. It is both a continuation and a reinvention, a return to community, and a leap into a bold new world where the fate of the individual and the fate of the world collide. Built for the stage and driven by emotion, Rocket Suit Rogue delivers an electric live experience with rocket-powered anthems for the apocalypse. And I just want to say, welcome, Matty. I'm so happy you're here. I'm very, very excited. How are you doing?
Wow, that's a good intro. Thank you very much. That's like right off the cuff. Weird.
Wild. It's almost like I read it from somewhere.
Yeah, crazy. No, I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I've only been bothering you for how long to come on and talk about your new project. I'm so happy you're here. Like it's very exciting for me, as a friend and a longtime musical fan of yours, to see your new
Thank
project
you.
start like really growing. So I gotta
Thank
ask,
you.
like, where did Rocket Suit Rogue really come from? Like what inspired Rocket Suit Rogue?
Oh, that's a loaded question. It happened. Gosh. So as you know, I took some time away in like 2021,
Mm-hmm.
2021, I think. And then a friend of mine was he texted me about songwriting and whatnot, and I said, yeah, let me think about this, whatever, blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, it just like that was a spark that did it. And so from there, I started writing a bunch of songs, and next thing you know, I had like 30 or so, and contacted my buddy Cameron, said, "Hey, what should I do?" He said, come record them with me." Okay, so I think the next week I was on a plane and I recorded the record, and here we are.
That's fantastic. I love
It's,
that.
it's really, it was really quick. It was super quick, actually. It was very quick, and everything kind of happened like in the matter of a couple months.
Yeah, you were not joking when you said it happened fast. Like that's
Yeah,
really exciting. Because I know that
yeah.
you and I have talked, like, in previous years about how you did like to do a lot of songwriting, and you had like a ton of songs that you were trying to do something with. So I think
Mhm.
this is fantastic. And I know a lot of people were really bummed when you stepped away from music for a little bit, like from Zebrahead specifically.
Yeah,
But I know a lot of
yeah.
people are absolutely foaming at the mouth for your new music. So I'm very excited for you that everybody is not only like holding that space for you, but like receiving you with big wide open arms. I think this is a really
Well,
wonderful chapter for you.
thank you. I appreciate that, and yeah, it was tough to leave. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but I was mentally, I was not there. I had a lot of things going on in my life, and everything was just kind of coming to a head. And yeah, it as much as it was painful, it was not a person. It wasn't like, oh, I hated this guy, I hated this guy. No, it was I had nothing left in the tank, and I just needed a reset and reboot. And yeah, I'm really glad that people are hopefully enjoying the songs so far, and I know that people are starting to pre-order the record and the vinyls already, and everyone's starting to get excited about it, which I am very stoked about. And yeah, I really do appreciate every single person that is given RSR a chance.
That's awesome. I am So I was just telling you, I'm so bummed I haven't been able to pre-order anything, but I do very much live vicariously through everyone else talking about the new shirts and the new albums. And for those of you who haven't heard of Rocket Suit Rogue yet, I implore you to go to rocketsuitrogue.com and check out some of the merch that they have. I know you said you were out of the hoodies, right? At the
I
moment?
think there's like four. So I'm reordering some more. Plus,
Okay.
we have a new one for so people that are pre-ordering the CD. There's a discounted T-shirt that goes with it.
Oh, cool.
But I am doing a reorder on Monday for a lot of things.
Okay, awesome. I really
Yeah.
love. So I'm looking at the website right now, and you had vaguely told me about this like forever ago, but what is the what is the theme here? Because it looks like you've got, the masked guy, or like, the rogue maybe, and then you have like this sort of almost superhero character. I don't know. You the visuals give me kind of a Fallout vibe, and so but you have this kind of like
Yeah.
rocketeer character. Like, what is there something specific with those two? Is there like a storyline you're telling, or like who are
Yeah.
they?
So I was watching a movie called Radar Men on the Moon, which is about Commando Cody, which is a sci-fi movies from the 1950s, and it's awesome. This guy has a cool helmet, and he's got a jetpack, whatever, like a fusion jetpack, and he fights, bad guys and whatnot. And so I don't know if you know this, but coming up with a band name in 2026 or 2025 at the time was really difficult because everything's been
I
taken,
imagine.
everything is used, everything is done. But I love the fact that it was like a jetpack guy, and I love 1950s old either westerns or sci-fi movies, all of them. I love them all, and so it was kind of went hand in hand, and luckily. I like the guy. His name is Gary. Yeah, he's the
Scary.
he's the character. And then they got the villain. But he's in like this world. And if you look at the artwork for the album Hello Apocalypse, which comes out on August 21st, um, you see basically the world's kind of being invaded and
Mm,
whatnot, and he's like the kind of superhero. But there's a deeper meaning than that for the whole record. But that's kind of the gist of it all. That's the world that it's in.
nice. Okay. That's cool. I love that because it's a really
Yeah.
cool. I love the color palette for one. But I also
Yes.
I very much just like some of the artwork that you've released, and
Yes.
I like that you do it all by yourself. Is that correct?
Well, no, the artwork is done by a guy named Artie who
Oh,
works
okay.
at Takeover Studio, and I think they're in Canada, but they do a lot of art with the record label that I'm on, Double Helix Records. And so I got in contact with them to do all the artwork, and they just do a great job because it's exactly what I wanted.
Nice. That's awesome. I really enjoy it. I also really like that you have these really interesting like color coded also matching, the artwork. You have these color coded vinyls that are really cool. So you've got the ones
Yes.
for North America, which are this beautiful teal variant, and then you have the is it pronounced spam? Spam?
Yep. So spam, yes,
Spam. Okay.
we call it spam, but it's spam because it has the umlaut above
Yeah.
the a. But that's so. Double Helix Records is in charge of North America, and they have and Spam Records does Europe and the rest of the world. And so Double Helix, they have the red, which is the actual record, the vinyl, and then their variant is teal, and you can only get it through the Double Helix website. Well, also through mine, but to get there. But yeah, that's the North American variant, and then Spam has it's kind of orange, but it's not. It's the kind of a yellowish gold, which is
Mhm.
actually like the letters from the artwork
Yeah,
for
I
their
really like
variant.
that gold. It's almost like it's kind of like a gold, but also kind of reminds me of like what is that? Like a mustard yellow, or like
Yeah.
a burnt yellow, burnt ochre or something.
Yes.
Like, it's really cool. I love the color tones because not a lot of people do like good balanced colors these days, and I think the blue and the gold, just the teal and the gold, just really, really complement each other. Those are some of my favorite
Yeah,
colors
thank you.
personally, and they look fantastic. They definitely, I feel like those colors suit you as an artist more, especially like when I'm listening to the music. Like that's the colors that kind of come through, and like I said, it kind of has this like sort of Fallout vibe. So I like the 50s
Yeah.
style art, and that's sort of like what is that art style? It's kind of like a what is it called? Like art pop or something.
I don't know. It's more it's like comic book to me, which I
Yeah,
love.
yeah, it does. It feels like a comic book, and
Yeah. And actually, if you look at the front cover, he put a on the top left hand corner. There's like a, you know how you have comic books,
mhm.
and you look at the front cover, and on the top left, there's like a whatever how much it costs and the production or whatever. But if you see it, if you, I don't know if you see it, but there's like a one that has the guy on the back, and he's looking away, and it has like 12, I don't know, punk rock songs or something like that. And it's a little like little badge right there on the left hand
Yeah,
corner, which is cool. Kind of like a comic book.
yeah. No, I really like it. I for those of you on Twitch, you'll be able to see it much better. Um, but yeah, it's really neat. I really, I don't know if I've talked to you much about it, but I really wanted to do like a zine, where people could get like
Hmm.
you know, a little bits and pieces, and I think it would be fun to do a zine of like the characters per your songs and like sort of the story that you're telling. And because it's Hello Apocalypse, it's kind of interesting because it kind of gives me this feeling that it could very easily become a comic book, or it could be like a small mini series or something. Like I love the little visuals that you have for the music videos. Those are fun, like the little rocket, like all the teasing and stuff that you've done for this on your social media has been done so well. And
Thank you.
like
You know
it's
what?
so
I'm
cute.
glad that you said that because I think it's awful.
Oh
I don't
no.
think I'm doing a good job.
No, you're
I
doing
really don't. I
great.
do my best. I do my best. I do my best with what I have, and I'm really glad that you said that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, of course. And I'm so stoked. Like, of course, you know, I'm an art nerd. Like, I love it. I think it's so cute. I absolutely love the tease of, gosh, what was it? Is it Last Parade? Which one's the one that's, is there anybody out there? Like,
Yeah, that's our last parade.
okay, yeah, so like when you had the little rocket like flying across the screen for like a 5 second preview, like I thought that was great. I would love to do more stuff like that. I don't really know how to do things like
Well,
that, but
so
it's so nice because it's a gentle tease, and people are like, what is this? Like, what is going on? And I love that it's been so engaging because I've seen your fans going absolutely feral, like, oh my god, what is this? What's
I,
happening? This is so cool.
I tell
Like,
you what's difficult. What's so there's two things going on. Number one, I got into Adobe Illustrator and After Effects
mm-hmm.
doing that. And then I also got into this new thing. It's not new, but it's new to me called Instagram edits or
Oh,
reels
okay.
or I don't know. It's like a special app.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I use the After Effects on the Adobe Illustrator for all that. But the other thing that's really difficult is that that's the only content I have for RSR right now. Like we haven't played any shows yet, and
Right.
so we don't have that content, and we didn't have the budget for a music video, so it's tough to come up with stuff to get people engaged and excited about the record. So I'm doing my best here, and the labels are helping out as much as they can too. And it's been yeah, this is what we got going on.
Yeah. No, it's great. I was gonna say I'm trying to pull up your Facebook page, um, because the one that you had for Best Last Day on Earth, I absolutely love the little alien, the little UFOs, and the like blasting everything, and it's just everything that you're doing for it is it's super fun. It's different. I don't think a lot of people are doing stuff like this, and they should. More artists should do stuff like this. I really appreciate like the production value. Like it may seem like
Well,
it's not a
thanks.
big deal, but I think you're doing a fantastic job, and I'm like I said, I'm super excited for you. I'm excited for your band
Thank
to
you.
start playing,
Well,
and hopefully I get to see you guys before you tour too far away.
absolutely. And I was going to say that uh regarding doing as an artist, it's so difficult because all day on social media, which our biggest is our platform is Instagram. Yeah, is Instagram, and we
Sure.
also share on Facebook. But Instagram is the biggest one for us. But all you see and all you read all day is how to get a million plays, how do you get your first 1 million followers, or blah blah
Yeah.
blah, how to do this, and everyone's doing the same thing, and I don't really like doing the same things.
Vibe.
I Because I know that, like, people, you have to do certain things that work, but I'm trying so hard to, keep myself in the whole thing, and not do exactly what everyone else does, or try
Yeah.
to.
No, that's fair. That's why I say, like, I really think you're doing a fantastic job, because I don't see people doing stuff like this, and I think the way that you are operating, especially through Instagram, I think it's just a really great way that I would like to figure out how to do that for my stuff. Like, obviously I don't have enough to put out at the moment. I'm working in the background to do, I don't know, too many things at this point. It's so many things, but like, for instance, I really wanted to get into like short form animation, to do some of the stuff kind of like what you're doing with like just little peeks and
Mhm.
previews. Like, I just want like little pieces of things to be animated, especially for like
Yes.
my comic book that I'm working on with my friend Crunk. Like, Sean and I are doing this fun comic book that we came up with this idea back in 2012, and
Uh-huh.
it's been something we've been sitting on for a long time, because there's still like a weird stigma about some of the story, but it's kind of a coming of
Mhm.
age story, and I want it to be fun and kind of interactive, and I want it to be something that people can relate to now. But I also don't do things like everyone else does. Like, I don't even know how to do social media the way everyone else does. Everything I do is so different,
Yeah.
and it's hit or miss for me. Obviously I don't have a big fancy name. I haven't toured the world. I don't have 10,000 people following me on social media. I don't know if you have that many followers, but
I
I
doubt it.
see
No,
some people
no,
that have
I doubt it.
thousands of followers, and I'm like, what are they doing? Like, why do 10,000 people follow
Well,
this person? I'm starting to think a lot of it's paid for bots.
yes. So let me
Because
tell you something that it doesn't. Don't chase that. Whatever you
yeah,
do, don't chase followers or this or that. Do what you want to do and however you want to do it. I think if you put that passion into whatever you want to do, it will radiate out somehow. I don't know how it works, but it will radiate out, and the universe will pick it up, and it'd be awesome. And you just do what you want to do, and that's the best part about life, because yeah, it's short. So do what you want, and learn After Effects. That's that
yeah.
Adobe thing. That's really cool. I know
I
there's other stuff out there, people, but it was a big learning curve for me. But I'm still learning.
I, you
If I
know,
could do it, anyone could do it.
I was to say, if I could afford to have an Adobe subscription, they banned me recently. But if I could afford it, I
God,
would absolutely do.
how do you get
Because,
how do
dude,
you get banned from
because
Adobe?
I
Amazing.
saw, dude, it was crazy. I got in a big fight with
Congratulations.
them. I know, thank you. It's kind of an accomplishment. It's like the
Hmm.
second platform I've been absolutely banned from for calling them out. Venmo is the other one I'm banned from using, but they owe me
Huh.
like $600. So I will continue to trash Venmo because they owe me money. They stole from me, and I don't appreciate it. But with
Wow.
Adobe, what happened was, originally you used to be able to buy like the Adobe suite, and now you can only do that if you're through like a company, a college, a big
Hmm.
corporation. You can't really buy it anymore. You can only subscribe monthly. Now, when I
Oh yeah,
originally
that's right. Because I
subscribed,
subscribe.
oh my god, I hate subscribing. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
But I originally subscribed back in like 2023, 2024,
Mhm.
like under a new account. Because they were mad that I have a pirated version of Lightroom on a different address for a different computer that cannot update anything, and they were like mad at me. So I just made a new account with a different email and stuff. And my brother and I were sharing it because I was editing some photos for his portfolio for some of the work that my brother does. And somewhere along the line of the first 6 months that we were subscribed, Adobe changed their policy secretly, which they're still being sued for right now. Um, but they absolutely, what is going on with my stream? That's weird. They absolutely changed their policy secretly to say that you are locked in for 1 year minimum, and you cannot
Yeah.
unsubscribe. If you try to unsubscribe, you have to pay them outright in cash whatever the remaining balance is of the year. And I had been signed up for not the whole Adobe thing. I think I was signed up for
Right.
like 4 or 5 specific things. I had Lightroom, Photoshop, I think maybe Illustrator, and like Dreamweaver, because I was trying to do website stuff. But I only ever really use Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop for my actual like photography, and then I use Photoshop to tweak some of my illustrations because I use a different program entirely. And so when I was trying to like get out of it, they were like, "Oh, you owe us like $800," and I was like, "Excuse me, like but what? Like I pay you $25
You
a
should
month.
just
What do you mean?" And they were like, "You can't get
you
out
should
of
have
this."
Venmoed
Oh,
him.
God. I know, right? Dude, I wish.
Yeah.
Like, just take it out of my Venmo that you owe me. Yeah, but
Exactly,
it
yeah.
was so crazy. And then because of that, they kept trying to charge my account, and I contacted them to be like, I don't have this money. And they were like, well, then I guess you're paying every month. And I'm like, but I cannot. I do not have the money. And we got in a fight. I went through their customer service like for 2 weeks and just back and forth, and they finally were like, you know what, we can't resolve your problem, so we're just gonna forbid this email address and IP from being able to access our stuff. And I was like, that's messed up.
Thanks.
So I'm in a class action lawsuit against Adobe, but I miss it because it's the only thing I know how to use. I have downloaded other apps, but I don't understand them. I spent years learning Adobe, and now I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I really so apparently this isn't sponsored by Adobe then.
No, definitely not.
No. Okay, well then I take it back. You should just use Canva. Use
I
Canva. That's free.
I
You can do
just
some stuff on
I
there.
was gonna say,
You
I
can do that
just
all the
started
time.
playing with them. Yeah, my friend Ren suggested it a few months back, and I was actually playing with it last night because I do have a sponsor, actually. Quick plug. If you're interested in
Love
doing
it.
something with healthier caffeine, if you're trying to stop drinking like energy drinks, or you want to have less coffee, more fruity flavors, something that's a little bit more delicious without the jitters, if you will, you can check out Dubby.gg. That's DUBBY.gg. They are a company built by gamers and other nerds who are trying to have a healthier take on energy drinks and stuff. They have a coffee extract that they use, but they use no artificial dyes, no numbered dyes, all natural flavors, natural colors and stuff. And you can get a tub. It's like 1 serving per day, so it's like 30 servings of this fun drink mix that you can get. You can mix it with all kinds of things. They have some cool recipes I was looking at last week. But if you type in code MISSBI, MISSBII, you get 10% off your order, and then I get a commission. And also, I'm working on making a like sponsor page so that when people want to support me and buy something and get some of their treats and stuff, every time that they click through my affiliate link, I get a commission. So if you're interested in not drinking Monster Energy anymore and you want something more delicious without the crash, without the like weird jitters, you should check out Dubby. So yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna check that out actually, because you said can you mix it with vodka?
Probably. I don't
Is
know.
that
I don't know if you'd
okay?
want
There you
to,
go.
but
Why not? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess you probably could.
Yeah.
I'll have
Okay.
to
Well,
send you
I'm
the
gonna
link,
look into
though.
that.
It looks delicious. I haven't been able to afford the initial like try. There's like a sample thing that they're gonna send. They have to send me something very specific because I'm allergic to like everything tropical and delicious. So they were gonna send me this big tub of like coconut mango something, and I was like, please don't, I'll die. And they were like, oh no. So they're gonna try to send me something else, but they have a bunch of flavors. They've got like this like sour gummy bear, cherry limeade, sour blue raspberry. They have a Japanese soda flavor that everyone says tastes like the Ramune sodas, which I don't know what the flavor is. I don't know if it's like melon or something, but I love Ramune.
I never had that.
Oh my god, those little Japanese sodas, you should try them. They're delicious. They come in those glass bottles with the weird marble on top. You've been to Japan, right?
Yeah, many times. I've never seen that before.
Never had a Ramune? Oh my god.
No,
Well,
I usually just have like a Diet Coke over there.
Fair. They do have
Yeah,
they have a Japanese yuzu flavor too, which if you like citrus but you don't want like specifically lemon lime, like yuzu is nice because it's kind of a sweet as opposed to like a sour, and it's I don't know, it's like it tastes kind of like if lemons were less sour, and also the flavor of like almost like a grapefruit or something. Like, I don't know. Yuzu is a really delicious flavor in my opinion. But they have
Yeah, it needs
tons.
vodka.
Yeah. I was trying to see our formula. Is that what it is? No, recipes. So if you go to dubby.gg and you go to their recipes, they show you a bunch of ways to mix some of the different flavors they have, things you can mix with it. The one that people say a lot is do your favorite dubby flavor with like a soda water. So like the
Hmm.
bubbly, and I am a fiend for some bubbly water. So I would absolutely love to try it with some bubbly, but you know what? I got some vodka too. I might try it. I don't know, just for funsies.
There you go.
Instead
You
of
might as well
instead
just
of
try
Red
it.
Bull and vodka, just Dubby and vodka,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I,
No, it
I
looks
highly
really good
support it.
though. Yeah, they got a ton of really cool flavors, but they also have some cool shakers and, I don't know, you could check their stuff out, and they're taking some more folks to sponsor and to like partner with. So, I mean, I don't know if that's something you're interested in, but since you're doing
Well,
stuff on
I
social
do
media,
like
you
I
could
do
try.
like it that they're gearing it for like people that are like nerds and gamers. I love that.
Yeah.
And also too, like I do need some new mixers.
Hey, fair.
Maybe that could help.
Maybe
I'll check them out.
they have some
I'll check them
fantastic.
out.
I'll send you the links, because they got some really cool stuff. But yeah, that way if you buy it, I get a commission.
Cool.
but
Cool.
um, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I wanted to ask you too, where since you want to tour out of the United States, where do you think your favorite place to tour would be if you could have? Like, I mean, obviously you're going to be touring at some point, but like, where would you like to tour the most? Like, what are you most excited? What part of the world, I guess, are you most excited to play again?
Let me see here. Wait, am I still here?
Yeah.
Yes. Um, yeah, I've been everywhere actually, except for South America. I'd love to get down to South America.
Ooh.
But I'd love to get back to, we just talked about Japan. I'd love to get back to Japan, um, and then all through Europe again, and Australia and the United States. Like I we plan on taking RSR all over as many places that will have us. But I'm most looking forward to going back to Japan for sure, and then all the places in Europe that I have been many times, and just to see old friends and fans and everyone like it. I really can't wait. I really cannot wait.
That's so exciting. I want to go to Japan. Take me with you.
The
uh,
flights are pretty long.
yeah.
Actually, no, they're not.
It's like 14 hours. It's not
Australia
terrible.
is.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
from LA, it's like 8, maybe 7.5.
Oh, okay. From LA. That's fair.
But it's in the future, so
Take me with
you
you.
wind
Let
up
me
in the
take
future.
pictures. You don't have to pay me. This would be just for me. I just want to go to Japan so bad. Like, I genuinely have wanted to go there for so long, and I'm so jealous of everyone that gets to go, because it is a place that I feel like is truly where I'm supposed to have been. And in this lifetime, I ended up in the United States instead. But the Japanese are just so supportive,
Yeah.
especially of music. And I know you have a ton of Japanese fans. So I'm excited for you when that happens. Not if, when.
When?
And
No, because yeah, we will tour there for
yeah.
sure. For
Oh
sure.
my gosh. I absolutely would love to just well, you know me. I would love to just go anyway, but I would love to be a fly on the wall to see the fans' reactions to you coming back, especially with your own band, and sort of like rekindling that deep affections that they have. Like, I genuinely am so excited for you on this new venture with Rocket Suit Rogue, because
Thank you very much.
I've been listening to your songs like nonstop. Like, I listened to one of them the other day. The first thing I did when I woke up, I had some weird dreams, but I was like, I need a fun boost, and so I put on, I think it was yeah, I think it was best last day on Earth. That was the one I was listening to, but also our
Hmm.
last parade. Like, it just, I don't know. I like all of them. Home Sweet Misery, super fun.
Yeah, yeah, and I can't wait for the record to come out. There's
Oh my
12,
god, I'm so
12
excited.
songs in total.
I'm
12 songs in
so
total.
ready. I'm so ready, because I wasn't sure if you were gonna have a whole album at first. Did you consider doing an EP separately, or did you aim for an
No,
album first?
no, nope. Sorry to, yeah, I don't like EPs. I mean, EPs they're okay. Like they have their place, but if you can do the album, do the album,
Fair.
because it's better to have, you know, a whole kind of, this is what's happening in this point of life right here, and this is like a book, like a story, instead of like a small, I don't know, small series of things. Here's a whole finished book.
Nice.
Does that make any sense? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love
And,
that because I think a lot of people forget that like albums used to be specifically to kind of tell a story. As an artist, I assume, at least based on the ones I grew up listening to, that it is like a story from start to finish. You're sort of going through this I don't know, like, I guess story is the best way to put it, but you're sort of traveling song to song into different
mhm,
aspects of something. And I think a lot of folks are just putting music together these days because like
mhm.
anyone can
Well,
make music now, but I think the amount of money and time and writing and energy and stuff that goes into putting an album together, I think is really awesome when it's like really well thought out. I meant to ask
yeah.
you like what what how do you get into the idea of like writing an album? Like, do you start with one song? Do you start with a story you try to tell? Like, do you map it out like a story, or is it kind of just um like how do you do that? Like, how do you how do
Well,
you go for an
yeah,
album?
that's
I
the
guess.
no, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you're meaning here. Like, so for me, for this album specifically, I wrote so many. Like, I wrote 14 songs in 2 weeks. I wrote 2 songs a day instrumentally for a whole week, and then I wrote the 2 songs a day finished lyrically a week. And I finished 14 songs the first 2 weeks, and then I like waited a week, and then I wrote 14 more. But I didn't go into it as, okay, here's like another part of the story. No, they're just finish the song, however it is however it is, and whether it's good or bad, I'm gonna finish the song. And picking these 12 songs, going to the story part, like they all kind of fit together because you know, the whole theme of Hello Apocalypse, it's not really about the actual apocalypse. It's
Right.
about like an interpersonal apocalypse, or anything that could be either external or internal, like anything that you're going through. So all these songs kind of had a story. And if you look at, well, I guess you don't, but if once you hear the album, if you listen to it, you know, from front to back, in order, you'll see like the first song is called Watch the World Just Fall Apart.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like about the world, but it could mean your world, you know, both inner and external. And then it ends with my favorite, It's Fine, You're Fine. And which is also that's my favorite song on the record. It's the heaviest too.
Oh,
But
nice.
it's also, here, get this, it's also heavy on the lyrics too.
I love it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely
It's a
so
journey.
elated for it because well, you know, obviously like I said, I really like your music, but I'm just excited that um I'm just excited that you are able to do all of this and to share these things because, you know, writing that kind of uh writing that level of music, I feel like is a huge accomplishment. Like it takes a lot from what I understand to be a singer-songwriter and to put together like to compose things and I just I love how passionate you are for writing songs and the fact that you had what did you say 30 songs and they'd only like did you like were you going to put all
At
of them
least,
on the
yeah.
album or did you have to choose to like pop it down
Yeah.
or did they
Yeah,
run it
so
by you?
I chose because for two reasons. A, I was talking with Cameron, like, hey, I've got these songs. Can we do 15? He's like, don't do 15. And so, okay. I was like, crap. Okay, how about 14? No, just do. He said do 10. I said 10.
Aw,
I said no. Let's do 12. Let's do 12. He said okay, sure. And we only did it in 8 days, so it's like we had a time crunch as
wow.
well. So it worked out perfectly. But yeah, that's how it was. And I I think the other songs didn't make this album. There were a couple that were kind of like, okay, I finished them and they weren't, yeah, they were decent. But the other ones that I finished that are they just didn't fit this album. This
Fair.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Kind of like
Yeah.
it wasn't a part of this. It wasn't in this album's world.
Sure. Do you think you'd
Yeah.
release them on a separate album, or do you think you'd release them as singles?
So as much as
Or all?
I'm trying hard not to just do single, 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 single. Like the reason why we did singles here is to lead up to the album.
Sure.
I don't want to fall into the trap of, oh, here's a single and maybe we'll do another single. Like I don't want to do that anymore. And I
Fair.
want I want I want people, I want everyone to experience music the way that I did was, and I actually made a post about it today with um, the CD orders that we're doing are in jewel cases because I talked with the RSR crew, which is my Patreon group, and they're the best, by the way. And I asked them like, should I get the digipack? You know, the cardboard ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit cheaper, but they do the same thing. And no, they all said jewel case. You know, the old
Yeah.
clear plastic. But it's something cool about getting it and seeing the artwork and reading the lyrics there and any other pictures that are in like who did what, who's a part of this, blah blah blah. And it's a different experience, and I think that's why I also love the vinyls too.
Yeah.
But the vinyls are cool too because they have the insert with the lyrics, and there's a couple, cool pictures of a part of that too. But it's just an experience that I think is missing whenever you just listen to it on your phone,
Yeah.
or you stream it. And also number two, you mentioned that you hate subscriptions and whatever. I do too. But do you know that you're literally just renting your music like from
Yeah.
Spotify or whatnot?
Oh
Like
my
you
god.
you you should own something. Buy a vinyl, buy a CD, like own it.
Yeah.
It's yours. And you know what? Also too, I don't know if you play video games, but
Sometimes.
there's a new game called Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out, and they're not putting it out on a physical disc anymore. They're
Yeah.
discontinuing, and everyone's upset about it. And I understand why, because you don't own it. And
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the part of the whole music experience that I that
Mm-hmm.
I want this and I missed with it. So
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
love
but
that. I'm so glad you mentioned that because that was something I've been thinking about the last few years is a lot of folks that I know have been releasing music, even some who aren't really my friend anymore, but they occasionally release music that I listen to. They don't put out physical copies. And I'm tired of the you will own nothing and be happy. Because even on streaming services like Amazon, you're paying $16 to $25 for a subscription for this stupid streaming service. And then they also want you to pay to rent these movies. It says rent for $19.99, buy for $25.99, but you're not buying it. Like years ago, I bought,
yeah.
well, at least I thought, I spent like $35 buying a TV series that I really liked on Amazon, thinking it would stay in my Amazon account. And after like
Oh.
3 months, it disappeared. And I was like, what the hell?
Mhm.
Like, what do you, excuse me? And then,
Yep.
yeah, especially with music, because I only use Apple Music. I don't pay for Spotify. I think, well, I have a lot of feelings for Spotify, but especially like as friends that are artists making pennies. I think it's crazy
Pennies is
that,
very generous.
yeah, fractions of pennies, I
We
guess.
we don't do it. We're not doing it for the money. We're not doing it for the money.
Right. But still, I think that artists deserve. I'm not a Taylor Swift person, but I do think she had a
Mhm.
point that artists deserve to earn money on their music. And if you're not going to allow them to release music in Target anymore or at Walmart, like there are no places to go buy music anymore. Like there are no music
Yeah.
stores. You can't go to Best Buy to the music area. There's no FYE stores. There's no record stores anymore, and the ones that are only have old stuff or like the handful of people that they know that are selling records. And I know for a lot of folks, everything is just so expensive to produce, but
Yes.
I feel like if you truly appreciate an artist or a band, if you are truly trying to support them, don't just show up to a show. Buy the merchandise, buy the CD, buy the shirt. I don't know, tip your band, buy the merch that they have, buy stickers, buy things, but definitely, like you said, buy the album, have a physical copy of that music to listen to whenever and wherever you want to, so that you're not
Yeah.
forced to stream, because I hate when I can't pay a phone bill or a subscription, or I'm out of service somewhere. Like if I'm driving long distance, like cross country, and I'm in a dead
Mm-hmm.
zone, I can't listen to anything unless it's downloaded on my phone. But your phone doesn't
Right.
have space to download stuff anymore. So I have an old iPhone that is basically an MP3 player at this point, because the only thing I can use on
Mm-hmm.
it is the camera and Apple Music, and that's it. Like I can barely access the photos, but I have that to be able to play music, because I started pirating music from bands that I like because they won't sell copies of it. It's like you have to buy it
Mm-hmm.
through Amazon or what have you, and I personally detest that. As you know, I'm also very old school in that manner. Like my dad was a big CD and like cassette collector, and my mom's
Hmm.
ex-husband was big in buying albums, like the big vinyl stuffs. Like
Cool.
he had records, and my whole family has always been about like having physical media. We have books, we have movies. Like I still have a ton of VHS. Like my VCR is one of my
Oh
most
yeah,
prized
keep
possessions. Like
those.
I have all my old VHS tapes. I have a bunch of DVDs from like way back in the day. I have so many CDs from when I was a kid. I still have like 4 or 5 big like CD collectors, like those big, like, I don't know, CD books or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
you have like 4 or 5 of them like per page. Like it's,
Yep.
yeah, I definitely believe in that stuff. And if I could find a proper CD player again, I would. But especially with like
See that?
music and video games, I think it's ridiculous that these places, Sony especially, is on everyone's hate list. But yeah, for them to release these things
Mhm.
and not let you actually have access to those games, it's crazy. Like why would I buy it if I don't own it? Like that's so silly to me. Like
Yeah,
you're
and
renting a digital copy of something. Get out of here.
it's tough. It's tough because as an artist, also I understand that. Yeah, it's expensive to create CDs for sure. Creating CDs, not a lot of people do it.
Mhm.
And like vinyls, there a lot more bands are starting to make a lot of vinyls, which is great. And I know back in Zebrahead, my days in Zebrahead, we had both.
Yeah.
But um, during that time, people were buying CDs, and that was still a thing. But vinyl was still big then, and it's getting bigger now. Which is I'm glad I've got with Double Helix and Spam for these vinyls for RSR.
Yeah.
But finding even if you don't have the CD player itself, that can always come later. Just own it. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm not saying that, oh, you have to, and that Spotify is I will never say Spotify is evil or this is that, because they all have their place. It may not be my thing. I don't have a Spotify account, but I do because they have to upload certain things, but
Sure.
whatnot. But it does have its place, and it is easy to get your music out there, but at what cost? And if you listen to the song "Our Last Parade," in the middle of the chorus goes, so what's the price you pay?
Yeah.
If you don't do this. So who knows? You do what you want to do, but
Yeah.
this yeah. If you get a CD, get a vinyl, love it. Keep your
Yeah.
VHS, love it.
Yeah. Also, I think it's cool that because you've been a big proponent for having physical media, you've always had something, even in your previous projects, some of which
Hmm.
I wish you would release music for again.
You
um,
mean Mendon Hale?
well, that too. No, I meant Jank 1000, but
Oh, that's a garage band. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
No, I love it
huh.
though. But that's also something I know people have always appreciated, is like just the authenticity of this sound. Like something I was granted the copy of the most ugly cassette I've ever seen in my life, which is the only reason that I know who Zebrahead is. When I was 7, my
That's
daycare
cool.
lady's kid, their cousin came back from a concert in LA and was like, "Oh my god, you guys have to listen to this music." And so I heard a very unreleased, probably highly illegally obtained copy of Zebrahead's first like 4 songs, and I don't know that I still have it. I think someone took it long time ago, so I'm very sad about it. But I know that they re-released it, at least on a streaming platform. Some of the fans had released it, and I remember
Hmm.
asking, like, can you make cassettes out of this? Like, can we make CDs to sell, like, for the band, or like, can we make physical copies or whatever? And something about it was like, everybody was all hush hush and weird about it, and they were like, no, like this is only released in our like Zebrahead group, blah blah blah. And I just remember thinking, like, boy, it sure would have been cool for them to be able to physically re-release that stuff, because even though it's not where they are now, and a lot of it would probably be considered in cancel culture level, spaces, because, the 90s were their own thing, it's nice to be able to hear that kind of stuff again. And while you may not ever actually listen to it, having that physical media and saying that you do have it, there are people who can still, take those things off cassettes or burn old CDs or whatever. And, people still rip it to their computers and whatnot. And I absolutely am not saying that you should download this music and put it on your computer and burn illegal CDs. You should buy it from the artist. However, if you don't have the money for it and you're doing it for yourself, I highly recommend you have a physical copy at some point. Put it on a flash drive. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah,
But
and go support the band some other way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go see the shows. But like I said, buy a T-shirt. Yeah, share it online.
Word of mouth.
Yeah,
all
and
of it.
I'm all about being able to do that, which is why I really appreciate having you come on the show and talk about this too, because I'm really glad to have a platform where I can share this with an audience that is global. So who knows how many of your fans may or may not be listening to this right now, but they'll be able to access this later. And, I hope that being able to talk about these things on the radio more often will help remind people that we don't have to be okay with owning nothing. You can support people in free ways, but you can also support people in, like I said, a one-time way. Buy a T-shirt, buy an album, buy some stickers, even if it's something small.
Yeah,
and
or like what you're doing right now. And you mentioned that you didn't pre-order the record or the CD, and I said that's okay because you're doing this. So I appreciate that. That's also very helpful. So as an artist, we always appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, and I definitely, like I said, like getting into the radio was like I started finding more musicians online that I'm like, I feel like they just need a bigger platform. And I'm very fortunate to have access to a bigger platform. I don't know how much it does for people, but I've also seen a lot of folks. I was hoping if you wanted to stay longer, which if you don't, that's fine. But I wanted to ask you some questions about like dealing with record labels and being more of like in an indie space, because you are somebody who is very fortunate to have access to some really big names in the music industry to back you up and work with you and all this stuff. But I had some questions. We're gonna go to break in about 5 minutes though, so like I said, if you don't have time, that's okay. But I would love to pick your brain about some of the music industry from where you started to where you are now, because I've noticed a lot of bands online are doing everything as individual people. They're all indie artists. They're all doing their own music production, their own mixing, their own engineering. They're writing their own music. They're recording it in their houses. There's all of this sort of, I have to do it on my own, because these record labels are just siphoning the life out of people. And I know that's not necessarily the same for everyone. A few years ago, I remember having Greg, on here, who's if you didn't already know, folks who were listening, Greg was a band member in Zebrahead also while Matty was there. Greg's one of the founding members.
Great guy.
Yeah,
Great
it's
guy.
fantastic. I love when we had a conversation about aliens and stuff a few weeks ago. It was so funny. I did
Love
not
Greg.
know that's where the conversation was going to go. We talked about ancient aliens instead of any of the things I wanted to talk about. but Greg and I have had personal conversations like off air, where I was picking his brain about the music industry, because I was seeing folks online and just kind of asking like, what can I do to offer this extra space, or what can I do to like produce or like manage or like help musicians get out there? Because I seem to have this interesting network of connections where I literally collect people. Like if I had a way to put you all in jars, I would do so, but not in like a weird way, just like, hey, this is the access point, like here we go, like coming through my TARDIS. But I've met a lot of musicians and music producers in my life. I don't know why. I feel like there's a reason for that. I was hoping maybe it would be for my benefit.
Gravitate.
Yeah, I was like, but I love music. And when people say, oh, I listen to all music, a lot of people don't actually, but I do. I listen to so many genres, I could not put it into one or two categories. I listen to all music. If it makes me feel something, I will hold on to it. And sometimes it's music that I don't typically relate to. Like, I'm not a big EDM person, but I have some friends who are EDM musicians and DJs who have really cool songs, and it makes you feel something. And people who really understand, you know, what music is for people. It's a very spiritual experience for a lot of folks. It's very emotional.
Oh man,
Like, music
I'll
can
talk all day
change
on
your
that. Yeah,
life. Yeah.
yeah,
And I would love to pick your brain about some of that because
sure.
like I said, we're going to break in like 3 minutes, so I don't know where you want to start, but
Yeah, so I'll stay a little bit longer for sure, because I'll talk about that all day. I totally agree, but I think there's stuff that you can do, whatever you're geared like toward, like that can help everyone out, like artists and yeah, other musicians, kind of like a networking kind of a thing. And I got some thoughts on that as well. But and we'll talk about the record label stuff and the help or no help or indie or no indie or all of that. I've been through it all. I've been through it
yeah.
all.
Well, and that's one of the reasons I'm excited to have you on here too, is because, yeah, you have been through it all. We've talked, you know, over the last few years about some of it, and you know, me being able to kind of have that invitation to kind of look in from an outside perspective to see how much you've grown and like shifted, and just the different things you've shared about, like some of the struggles you've had and some of the frustrations you've had, a lot of the successes that you've had. Like, I just think it's really fascinating how small the world really is, two, how easily accessible some of these things can be for some people. I feel like, would you agree that a lot of it is like not necessarily who you know, but rather who knows you, like being in social circles and like who recognizes you and who you feel highlighted by? Or do you feel it is definitely like a right place, wrong time kind of thing?
I always go, well, there's two things. One is a networking thing for sure. But it's timing. And I lived a couple years in Nashville, and everyone's a great musician. Everyone's a great musician, but that doesn't guarantee success. That doesn't guarantee, you know, everyone wanted to tour, everyone wanted a bigger gig or whatever, but it doesn't guarantee anything. And like nothing in life is guaranteed. Like not even tomorrow's guaranteed.
Right.
But it's timing, it's networking. It just boils down to there's a great quote by Steve Martin who said, "Be so good that they can't ignore." And it's one of those things where it doesn't have to be talent so good that they can't ignore, but it could be you're around so much, like you are seen by everybody and you're in that network, but you are also talented, because that you can't just be, talent has to be there for sure, for sure. But I am not Eddie Van Halen, and I'm definitely not whoever the greatest singer is. So and whatever, and that's okay.
Ooh,
But
perfect timing.
yeah.
All right, so music is queued up. We're gonna go to break for about 4 minutes. So we will be right back with more conversations with Matty, and so stay tuned, and we'll talk to you guys in just a minute.
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Did you ever feel that things were not quite right? That everything was just ever so slightly askew?
Do you have, to paraphrase Morpheus, a splinter in your mind?
If you're interested in hearing the latest information about UFOs, the paranormal,
ancient cultures and structures,
monatomic elements,
longevity,
fantastic discoveries in science,
downloaded to your brain,
then tune into us. Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mackie.
And we are Shiny Side Out, Sundays 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
Do you want to really get to the roots of good health and stay strong for the storms ahead? Then listen to Bridget's Well, Healing with the Elements of Life. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Studio A, where stories are shared about traditional foods, Chinese medicine, and simple, healthy living skills. Listen to Bridget's Well, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Studio A, right here on Revolution Radio.
Mountain High Time, 2 hours of an organization to the madness, discussing the ever-changing dynamics of being both physically and mentally prepared for a plethora of possible outcomes to our future and present. A look into the latest technologies, new scientific discoveries, and how they might be used in connection to the human domain and controlling it, ancient cultures and places. Be warned. This is an opinionated look through headlines, guests that are not afraid to question the narrative, a little bit of crazy ramblings of a stoner conspiracy factus that pushes constitutional concepts. The place and the time are the same, another dimension we call Mountain High Time. Saturdays 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain High Time, right here on Revolution.radio, where information never sleeps and truth breaks the spell.
Join Revolution Radio every Sunday at 5 p.m. Studio B for Strange Universe. For Strange Universe.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the one place where information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
All right, let's show them what we got, guys.
All right, thanks for listening. While we take that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And yeah, we're going to get back to your host.
Howdy, meowdy, everybody. Meow, meow, meow. Welcome back. It is I, your host. I just realized I didn't do a proper intro. Oh my gosh. You are listening to Revolution Radio on freedomslips.org or revolution.radio. This is Studio A, the Omnium-Gatherum show. We've entered our Kaleidoscope today with Matty Lewis of Rocket Suit Rogue, a very dear friend of mine. And if you didn't already know, I'm your host, Miss B the Cat. Meow, meow. And I can't believe I forgot to do that for like the third time in the last like week. Anyway, what's good, friends? What is good? Just want to say thank you so much for listening. And if you would like to support us here at Revolution Radio, you can do that by going to the website freedomslips.org, where you're probably already listening, and you can become a one-time donor or a regular patron of our fantastic website. We are listener supported, so we appreciate any and all support that we get from you, the listeners, because we want to say thank you for sharing your ear holes and personal space with us. And I just want to say, if you would like to support me, your local interdimensional space cat, you can go to my Ko-fi page, ko-fi.com/MissBeTheCat. That's MISSBII the cat. And I am selling some cool t-shirts. I have a couple of those plushies available still, and I sold some moon water, so that's cool. I've got little spell jars and stuff available, and if you're interested in an oracle or a tarot reading, you can reach out to me personally. The only thing I charge for is the time it takes to have the conversation outside of your typical reading, if you're interested, and if not, that is okay. I'm just happy you're here listening. And I just want to say thank you again to Matty for joining us. It's so great to have you here. I've really been enjoying this conversation. This is for sure one of my favorite interviews, and not just because I have friend bias, but because I genuinely am very excited for you as an artist to be here, and I'm excited for a lot of the fans of yours that are going to tune into this, whether they're listening to it live or in the future. And yeah, so I just want to say thank you so much for taking time to come and talk to us. And
I appreciate that. I really do. It's nice to have someone to talk to on the radio that's not my dog.
oh my gosh, I love Sophie. Give her extra pets for me. I miss her.
She is a great dog. She is a great dog.
Sweetest old lady. I love her. Oh my goodness. So right before, just to jump into it, right before we went on the break, we were talking, I asked you like a handful of questions, a loaded handful of questions. But I was just wondering, like, what is your, could you talk to the audience about your experience in the music industry from where you started in music to where you are now, and maybe what some of your favorite and least favorite things about having to work with a record label are?
Yeah. Geez, it's so much because I've been doing it since like 1950, I think. It feels like it, but no, I've seen it all and done it all with the music, and I'm not done yet. And so with the record label, I was okay. So originally when I started, obviously it was a garage band, and you don't have any, you're just a local, band doing your thing, and you had some fun, and it was great and all. And then when I joined Zebrahead, we were already a part of, I think it was Columbia at the time, but then it switched to Sony my first year. And then we were basically on Sony the whole time that I was there up until I left in 2021. And then now I'm doing some other things with some other labels. But I will say that being on Sony is a lot different than being on another, maybe a smaller record label. But I don't know. I think they get a bad rep. Bad rep.
Probably
Is it
both.
both?
I think it's
Is it
bad. I
bad
think it's
rep
bad
or it is bad rep?
I think it's
No,
rep.
it's bad rep.
Is it
Because
bad rep?
isn't it bad reputation?
Oh yeah,
Bad
no,
rep.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a bad rap. I don't know. I don't rap. But and so yeah, so being on Sony, like, so the thing is that you they own your music, right? And for some people that's tough to let go. Like, oh, I don't own it for say 10 years. Say your term for one album is 10 years. They own it for 10 years. And like people may think that that's a really bad thing, which sometimes, it depends on your deal. It could be, but if you get someone like Sony behind you and they're just kicking it and just pushing the crud out of it, and you get all this marketing budget and the whole machine, like that really helps. And yeah, there's nothing bad about that. And so for RSR, we're basically licensing. Yeah, it's after 4, so it's Miller time.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's licensing, because I own the masters, 'cause I basically paid for it, and then like we're working in partnership with Double Helix Records and in partnership, so it's like we're working together, and they're helping make vinyls and also push it and get marketing budget with it. So smaller indie labels like that are great, and they do a great job at what they do. And it all depends on the type of deal. I'm sure that there are really bad deals out there where they keep your records for 25 years or something like that, plus all of your royalties.
Sure.
I'm sure there are deals like that, but in my experience, it has always been positive. It's been great. And I will say that if you listen or have seen the Zebrahead album, I forgot what it was, it was called. It was like we did a best of where we recorded some of Zebrahead's old stuff that I was not a part of,
Yeah.
but we re-recorded the music, which means that we owned that, and then I sang obviously Justin's parts for these older songs, so we owned that, but we couldn't do that because we didn't own that at the time because it was under that 10-year or whatever it was. So there's ways around doing things, which is I think like I don't know if Taylor Swift, and you mentioned her before, she did that. I think a lot of bands do. A lot of bands do to get around it until they um, get that back. But in my experience, every record label, every person I've dealt with has been awesome. And I'm not just saying that to just say it. It's
Yeah,
been
no,
great.
that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that because I know plenty of people who do not have a great time doing that.
Hmm.
Um, I was only a
Well,
little
it all
bit
depends on.
personally burned as a fan hearing them re-record everything, but I realized like once I
Mhm.
actually like once I met you, actually it's kind of funny. I went back and re-listened to it, and it kind of gave some of the songs like a new life because they had a slightly different feeling. Especially considering you are a different type of artist, you have a different frequency in your voice and your tone, and the way that I feel like when people re-record old music, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Like even as an artist, like an illustrator,
Oh no.
I redraw stuff sometimes, and like sometimes it's just
Yeah.
better to do it again. It sounds better, it looks better. Maybe I've learned, a better technique for like blending or something. And I know some people get kind of burned about it. Like I said, at first I was all butthurt about it, but there's reasons. But it was a personal reasons back then. It was like 2019, and I was just like, meh.
All right.
But it was like,
All right.
but and then I actually, you and I became friends, and I was just kind of like, I'm gonna re-listen to this just to see, because I did enjoy your time with Zebrahead, but you were such a different character in the group. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
because even when Greg left and Dan came in, it was just a
Mhm.
different sound, and I feel like people forget that like music is allowed to evolve, and I feel like with record labels especially, like, yeah, they own your music, but I feel like if it's something you're not happy with, you can wait that time out and redo it, or you can do something different, or maybe I hear this periodically where an artist will record a song a certain way, and then a producer or the record label will be like, I don't think that's going to hit the right way. I don't think that's going to be as good as you think. You should try to do this. And they
Mhm.
sort of like transform or transmute the song into something else. And I know some artists are kind of iffy about that too.
Yeah, but you have to realize though, the job of the producer is to make sure that the artist, that your vision is captured in a way that it doesn't have to be sound good for everybody, but
Right.
there's some things that like if you're so close to something, you're not going to hear that this part might suck. And if you're so close to something, like you've been with this, like it's your baby, like you obviously you're gonna say that like, oh, this is the best thing ever I've ever done, and like, which is why it's good to have other ears, especially producers that can hear that and go, maybe not, but. The majority of the times they're going to be right. Not every single time they're going to be right, and
Sure.
sometimes they're going to make it worse. But and that's okay too, because that's their artistic interpretation. And when you work with a producer, most of the times you're like, just like the labels, you're collaborating with them. Like
Hmm.
they're kind of an artist as well. All kind of.
Yeah.
That's their interpretation of thing. Then you have mixing, which is different too, and then mastering, which is a different thing too. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a collaborative effort
Sure. Is it
for the greater good.
did you ever find it was really difficult to work with so many people between like the band and the producers and stuff? Like, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a silly
Um,
question. Like, of course, like
No,
I
that's
feel
not a
like this.
silly question at all. There are some guys that were like, for example, with Cameron. I think I did my first three records with Zebrahead with Cameron, and then this first RSR record with Cameron, maybe four records with him, five. I don't know. It's a bunch, and he gets the best vocal takes out of me.
Oh, nice.
Um, Yeah, and then when I did stuff with Howard Benson, who's another big time producer, and I'm not saying that to big time whatever. He's a great producer, but I found it difficult because I didn't feel as comfortable, you
Mm.
know. And he was a great guy, nothing wrong with him. And maybe it was his studio I was in. And then when I worked with Paul Miner, another great human being and great producer, great stuff. You know, I got great stuff out of there too. But something about Cameron's studio, I don't know what it is. Maybe I would record with the lights off and with my shoes off. I don't know. It just felt good. And then so that's when I came back with Rocket Suit Rogue and I did the same thing. It just felt nice. So sometimes, you know, you just got to go and, you know, whatever feels right. And yeah,
Sure.
I don't know if that answered your question, but
No, yeah, I think so.
that's my answer.
Yeah, no, I love that. Because like I said, I know I've heard bits and pieces here and there for other folks who kind of struggle with a lot of that. They struggle with kind of like working with too many people. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, too many chefs in the kitchen." But
Yep.
I have
Yep.
heard that some producers, some folks who have studios, like it's more, it's almost like more of a home feeling. Like you're comfortable because you can be a little bit more yourself. You're a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
You're not as like tight. You're not as like insecure about like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, like this person's gonna judge me if I can't hit this note right. And
Yeah.
you know, I gotta tell you, like, being in my own home space, like without having another co-host or having like other people in the house is definitely
Mm-hmm.
where I feel the most comfortable on radio, because I talk to myself all the time, so it's a little bit different. You know, I'm conversing out loud with myself in the house, and my mom will come downstairs and be like, "Who are you talking to?" And it's like, "Me." But she'll hear me on the radio sometimes, and she can't tell when I'm talking to a person or if I'm just like talking on the radio. And you know, half the time I'm just in pajamas if I'm not like dressed for radio, like for my Twitch streams. You know, I'll just be like in pajamas. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't have any shoes on. Like I'm in my house, so it's different. But
Yeah.
you know,
You're comfortable.
yeah, it's like I'm in my big comfy t-shirts, and sometimes I just have like my comfy pants, but I almost always have like some fuzzy socks on or something. And oftentimes I can only assume it's much like that for recording music. I know a lot of friends who record in their own homes. They've made like a home studio, and their big thing is
Mm-hmm.
like you have to be comfortable. Like just hang out.
Yeah.
Like they mess around and just kind of they just chill in the house for a little bit, you know, have lunch together or have a couple beers or
Mm-hmm.
something, and just vibe and just kind of have like a jam session. And I think that's really important. I feel like a lot of people, especially with today, I think you and I have talked, well, maybe it wasn't you. I talked to someone recently about how like it's my friend Otho. The world is so divided and everybody's kind of like uptight, and we're all insecure and trying to wear these masks of like who we want people to think we are. And then especially when it
Oh
comes
yeah.
to you know, like business professional and stuff, especially since 2020, it's been very different because so many folks have done stuff over the internet, you know, like through Zoom and stuff. And now people
Mm-hmm.
are allowed to welcomingly like go into physical spaces. And you kind of, I know a lot of people have a lot of anxiety about that. So I think it's really cool that you've been with a couple of producers that make you do feel comfortable, and you can kind of like be a little bit more yourself. Like it sounds like Cameron's kind of
Yeah.
more like a friend than just somebody you work with, you know, so I feel like that's really productive too, you know, someone you can just kind of
Well,
comfortably.
I consider Cameron my friend. I consider Paul my friend too.
Yeah.
Howard Benson's more like he was like a big time guy that we got to record with. So it wasn't like a buddy friend or anything like that. But it's home field advantage, you know, and it is. And if you have that, you have that advantage of just being relaxed. And if you've recorded, you know, heck, I've recorded so many times, and you just you start to learn how to make yourself comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to start with that, you know, being comfortable with the producer. Yeah.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Would you say too that
which
like
I am.
would you say too that like traveling to different places to record is like a, how do I phrase that? Well, I guess the first question is, do you travel often to record? And if so, is that something you get really excited for? Does it feel more like an obligation, or like how I guess, what does it
It-
feel like to, like, in the day, if you will, in the feet of, wearing the shoes of, however you want to put it, to go record? Is that like something that's like really exciting because you're in a different studio space? Does it sort of feel like something new?
Yeah, well, for me, whenever I record like in home, or it doesn't feel the same because it feels more like I'm recording a demo, and there's nothing, I'm not, there's nothing wrong with home studios or whatever, because people actually have really nice studios in their homes, but there's something special to go to a studio that's out of state, and that's a proper studio, and just be there. And I actually recorded a one of my country things um, down in Texas with this guy Chad Malden, who's another great producer, and his studio was a converted 1940s or 50s radio station that
Oh, wow.
it's awesome, and it's like they had the room there is amazing, and like the live room and whatever. But that it's so even just that, it just going to somewhere else where it's not your house,
Sure.
it's always an adventure, and I love it. I cannot get enough of it, which is why I chose Cameron, and it was so good to be back in that studio. It was so good to record this record with him. So good. It felt like I was back home.
I love that.
It's as close as I could be.
I'm not a musician, but I definitely am living vicariously through some of my friends and yourself who get to do that, because I would just love to. I don't know why, but I have dreams about being in a recording studio, watching people like put their stuff together. Like, I don't know what it means. I was kind of telling you, off air, that I was looking at going to college, and one of the courses
Mhm.
was they were going to do like music theory and like and sound engineering and production and like light production, all this stuff. Like, it's for live events and things. And I've had dreams for years about being in that kind of environment, and I am dying to have that kind of experience. I don't know what end necessarily, but
Mhm.
that sounds so exciting, and I think that's so neat that you get to do that. And I'm really happy that you get to share that, because I wonder sometimes if people forget, like, it's being a musician isn't, it's kind of like the way that people view cosmetologists. Like, it's not just sitting around and playing and having a fun time and just like messing around. Like, it's genuine work. Like, it's genuine business. Songwriters groups, you're really sitting down to like do that. I mean, sure, you are having fun, I'm sure, but it is still business. It's still work. You're, as a singer, you're really, working the muscles of your vocal cords. You're really, doing
Oh
breathing
God,
and
yeah.
stuff. And it can be exhausting, I assume. I mean, I used to do choir, and my grandmother was an operatic pianist, so I would
Mhm.
warm up with the opera singers a lot. And oh my god, it was a lot of work. It was a
Well,
lot of work for just a
it's
couple of shows. I can't imagine, like, for an album, like, you're doing so many different things, different takes. And I assume it's kind of like
thank you for
different
saying that.
rhythms. Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for saying that, because yeah, I tell my brother all the time, and he's like, "What have you been doing?" He was making fun of me. He's like, "I don't work. Like, I work my butt off." And a lot of people think, "Well, what do you do?" Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It's just I just do everything,
Yeah,
and there's so many little things. But for the like, the songs don't write themselves. The ideas
right.
don't write themselves. I spent most of my childhood learning how to play guitar. I still practice every day. I play these acoustic things where I play 4 hours to, warm my voice up, but it's like a muscle, and you have
Yeah,
to keep training it. You have to keep training it, and it is a job, but it's not a job. It's like a passion, and it's
yeah,
like I couldn't think of doing anything else, and once you find that passion, you run with it, which is why, going back to the money thing, it don't matter. Like, however many people buy the record, or stream it or whatever. Like, as long as I'm creating it, that's what matters to me. Which is why, when I took time off after I left Zebrahead, which was, really difficult for me. Like, I was going through such a bad thing. I didn't write a rock song for until I started to write this, but I still wanted to be creative, so I wrote some country music, whatever, and I still had to have that kind of outlet kind of like a therapeutic kind of a thing too. But it's all a job, and it's in so. Especially for this record, to get it ready, because I only had like 8 days to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, all my parts had to be, dialed in, and I had to, make sure all my solos were dialed in. So when it came time to record, it was 12 songs in 8 days, vocally, and also, harmonies, and I played the bass on this record too,
Oh
and then
wow.
the rhythms and and the rhythms and the solos and whatnot. Like I had to have everything dialed in. So I got with Cameron beforehand to make sure I was ready. And yeah, it's a job, but it's the best job in the world.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, I know you didn't want to talk too much about Mendon, but I do remember when you were recording your album. Was it the second one or the EP? What was it? Because you and I became friends after your first album with Mendon, Gravel Roads, and then I remember when you were going and recording some of the other songs, and I remember talking to you, and you were like, oh yeah, I've been practicing all morning because we have to like go do this thing, and then you were telling me that you were doing pretty much all the guitar. I think you said except for the slide guitar maybe, or steel guitar,
Oh, something like that.
something like that. And
Yeah,
it was just like,
probably.
that's really incredible. I really, first of all, I envy you for playing guitar, because I have tried. I guitars are like math and geometry to me. I do not understand. I need a teacher. I need someone to teach me like I'm 5
It is just
from
math,
the
though.
beginning. I'm bad at math. I'm bad at math. I can play the piano. I can play the violin. I can sing. I got into playing the mandolin for a little bit, and I've done like drums. Drums are not my favorite.
Mhm.
I much like dancing. I don't have it. But I can play things like, the violin specifically is something that I was really passionate about for a long time. And then we couldn't
Mhm.
afford to keep renting it. Nobody wanted to buy me one, so I stopped playing. And then we had to sell
Yeah.
my keyboard as a kid because hard times. And so I haven't had an
Right.
actual instrument in years. But when my grandpa passed, I inherited his guitar, which I'm terrified to play because it's like over 100 years old. So it's just like
Oh, they're
gently.
meant to be played, though.
I
Guitars are meant to be played.
I
They're built to be
know.
played.
I don't know how to play. When I
That's
strum,
okay.
cats get stressed out, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I
That's
would
okay.
love to learn, because especially with some of the songs that you have, like it just seems like it would be fun to learn the guitar, and it just I like the sound of guitars, like the frequency that people emit through their guitars and how they can harmonize. I just love it so much, and I think it's really awesome that you can do multiple types of guitars. You said bass and all that, and I think people don't understand that, like, again, kind of like when I was in beauty school, people are like, oh, you're not doing hard work, you just get to play with people's hair and put on makeup all day. And it's like, bro, I am standing for 12 to 14 hours in one spot, and I'm using my whole body. I'm cutting people's hair at multiple lengths, I'm doing massage, I'm doing, manicures and pedicures. Like, it is physically exhausting. And then I'm also doing a lot of chemistry with like the hair color and stuff. And then people are like, oh, what do
Yeah.
you do as an artist? Like, you just sit and color all day? And it's like, what? No, I'm like studying anatomy, and I'm looking at references of, say, like buildings or trees, and I'm trying to sketch, and like I'm teaching myself again how to do like color theory. And then people will say like, oh, what do you do on the radio all day? You just talk to people? It's like, well, yeah, but I'm like prepping that stuff. I'm doing the research for some of these folks. I'm listening to their songs. Hi Martin, I see you in chat. It's like I see these things, and especially like with crocheting, that is so
Right.
physically taxing. Like, I make these tiny things, and my fingers, the what do you call it?
Fingernails.
No, like the strengths, like the dexterity, that's what it is. The dexterity
Okay.
of like crocheting reminds me of playing a stringed instrument, because like there's so many different pressure points, and you're bending and squeezing, and you have to have physical strength and dexterity in your limbs to do things. And I think people who don't have these passions in music or art or whatever, even like woodworking or something, like I think people forget that like a lot of these jobs are physically demanding. They take a lot of your body, and especially like as a
Oh yeah.
musician, as a singer, like you were saying, it's a muscle. You're exercising your vocal cords. You are doing a lot of breathing exercises. You know, it depends on
Hmm.
how you carry your posture. You have to. Some folks have to do diets and stuff. They can't, you know, have anything spicy. They can't have too many sweets. They
Hmm.
have to be very hydrated. You know, that's not just drinking water. That's also having electrolytes and, you know, proper balance. And you know, you have to sleep well. You can't be like out partying and drinking the night
Yeah,
before because then your voice gets
that's
all
the
messed
thing.
up. Like people
That's the thing
forget.
that sucks. The hard part, the hardest part of the hardest part of touring, especially if they have like, say, if you're doing 30 or 40 days or 30 some odd days, playing all these shows every day. The hardest part is knowing when to go to bed
Mm-hmm.
and get away from and get out of the merch table and talking to fans is because that sucks. Like I want to talk to everybody, but
Right.
if I, especially in a venue where you're kind of, after you play, like there's always, it's like a disco loadout, whatever, like there's always like loud music. And so on top of, you've already played a show, which is, do that every single day. So that's the hardest part. And yeah, like everything that everyone does, no matter what it is, whether it's crocheting, whether it's, music, guitar, or whatever, like you do it well. And as long as you're passionate about it, who cares what other people think?
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
I had a question too. This was from somebody like a few years ago that asked me to ask you, but I found it in my Instagram.
Mhm.
Because you're not even technically, you are world renowned. You are a famous musician. Do you
I don't know
find it
about
like
that.
you do you find it overwhelming when a lot of people are trying to talk to you and you know, is it difficult to try to manage conversations? Do you feel like a lot of it is the same questions, or do you feel like you have an easier time connecting with people?
No, I, I wish I had more time, to talk to people. And I think the hardest, another hard thing too is is I can't spend so much time talking with everybody, and that's a problem because these people are human beings, number one, and they're you know supporting you as an artist, and like without them, like you're just some guy in a house, and that's so that's okay. So I want to talk to every single person, and I don't care what their questions are, like if it's the same thing as the last person, or how did you get your band, what is this, what's it like on tour, what do you eat, what are the coolest things about bringing on tour, or whatever. Like I've answered that question a million times, and that's okay, because I know, I know what it is. But I think when I left Zebrahead, and then I kind of laid low and recharged everything, I have a deeper, not so much a respect, but I'm more aware that I need to be present with every single person, because life is short, right? And we're all humans. And, whatever we're doing, whatever they're going through, whatever I'm going through, take the time to, to talk with them all. And they're supporting you. And yeah, and that's what it's all about. You talked about earlier about feeling stuff with music,
Hmm.
and man, that's totally right. Like that music is something on a level that's so much deeper than I think we realize or could realize and have yet to realize. And so it's very important to all of us. Very important to all of us.
Yeah, I saw something. I think. Well, I mean, I've
Hold
seen
on,
it a
brother.
hundred times, you know. But there was a video that popped up actually this morning of an older woman who had dementia and she couldn't remember most of her family, and they were trying to find ways to use therapy, and things just weren't working. So her grandson was like, "Okay, well, Grandma doesn't remember like any of us, and she doesn't remember any of her favorite things that we've shown her." And he said, "You know, I just want to listen to her favorite music with her one more time because, you know, it's getting close." And so they started playing
Did I
some.
do something?
No, are you still here? I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. I have to
um
let my dog out.
oh, no problem.
Sorry.
But
Stepping outside for a second.
okay.
Go ahead. So this old lady has dementia.
Yeah, she had dementia, but she used to be a ballerina, and so her
Mhm.
grandson was like, "I want to play a song that Grandma used to dance to because it's something we used to listen to, and she would dance for us, and we would all hang out, whatever." And they started playing the song, and it was almost like it brought her back to life. Like she was so animated,
Yeah.
her eyes lit up, the light came back, and she was able to remember, and she recovered lifetimes worth of information from just the music. And that was one of the things that stimulated a lot of folks looking into like music healing and music therapy for especially dementia patients or people who experience
Oh yeah.
amnesia or folks who have like ADHD who have a really hard time focusing a lot, or even autism. A lot of folks will listen to music to sort of ground themselves, to sort of reconnect with their physical body, because especially when you go through like trauma or you're experiencing like heartbreak or something, and you feel like you're having this dissociative like disillusionment, like where the world doesn't feel real and everything is just sort of muted, and it sounds like you're inside of a pool, like a swimming pool, like you're underwater. A lot of people will
Yeah.
go to their favorite music because it brings you somewhere. And there's actually a song by Saint Motel. I'll have to send it to you if you haven't heard it. I love it so much. It's called A Good Song Never Dies. And one of the lyrics is basically talking about how, you know, you will always remember where you were when you heard the song that like hit your heart the most. Like music
Oh,
impacts
that's
us
so
on a
true.
physical level. And like there are several albums and musicians, one in particular you and I have talked about, where like personal issues aside, like I can't not listen to that music and feel a certain kind of way. I listen to it to feel comforted because it's something that was there for me when people weren't. And there's music I grew up listening to with my dad that's like really significant, that I know when the day comes, which I hate thinking about, but like, if it happens to everybody, but like when the day
Yep.
comes and my dad's no longer with me, I know that listening to that music will give me that semblance of safety and comfort because we used to listen to it together, and it will stimulate those same kinds of emotions. And so I think it's really wonderful, like, to be able to talk with musicians and to talk with, with you specifically, because we've had this conversation, I think, before. And I find music so therapeutic in so many ways as a listener and an enjoyer.
Hmm.
But I love that, as a musician, as an artist, you can really like legitimately put a piece of your soul into this creation, this thing that you are sharing with people. And I love that it touches so many other lives, and people can relate and say like, your music saved me, or your music really helped me through a hard time, or like, if
Oh yeah.
maybe it's your voice specifically, maybe it's the way you play, maybe it's the lyrics, it could be any of those things or all of them. And I just I really love that that's something that people connect with, is as the artist creating it, as the people consuming it, as the band playing it, like we're all sort of sharing an experience together. And I just think that's
Absolutely.
really wonderful. And I wanted to ask, like, as a musician, like being on stages, those big stages, like what is it like from your perspective being on stage and like being really into the song that you're playing and projecting, to see the crowd like singing that with you? Like what does that feel like for you? Because like I know as an audience member, I get so hyped, I have like nearly panic attacks, like being in the crowd having a good time. But like what is that like for you being on stage, seeing these huge venues full of people singing your song back to you?
Well, first of all, I, I can't tell you like how many times I get a DM or something where someone says, thank you so much for the music or whatever. Like this helped me get through things and whatnot, and which I love. I absolutely love. And so that's the listeners,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so as a musician, I get that as well. Like there's songs that I listen to, obviously, that means certain things, for me, just like that. And I wish I could tell my favorite artists, like, hey, thank you for, all this. Um, but also you mentioned like writing the song and like being able to put that out. Like that's also, as an artist, very therapeutic for me. So we're dealing with the same kind of energy, kind of a deal, I think. And then when you go play it live, you're oh man, you're in like not only is it the song that you both connect with, or maybe the lyrics or whatever it is, plus you got the energy or whatever it is from everybody else around you, and then the people on stage, and then whatever the vibrations is are that are coming from, the band.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, that's a lot going on that I don't even think we realize how deep it goes, but it's really special, and I think that's why I love music so much, because of the connectivity to everything is great. Because I know people that are all about lyrics. Um, there's some people that just like, I don't care about the music, I just love the lyrics. Like, that's cool, that's great. And then there's some people like, I just love how the guitars sound. There's some drummers like, I love this how the drums sound. Whatever gets you going, and that's the best part of it, because one song can mean so many different things to so many different people. Whether it's this person here or over there, or the person who wrote it, or the drummer who played drums on it, or whatnot. And I don't know, it's really special. I love it.
That's fantastic.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that too. I envy sort of, for me, I'm very much like a watcher, an observer, and I sort of can see through the eyes of like what would be like a drone, I guess, like observing like
Mhm.
both the band and the audience, like seeing that sort of connection is so magical to me. And like being a part of it is also a different kind of magic. But I don't know, like bearing witness to see the magic that happens between musicians and the audience, I think is just it is truly so fantastic. And I feel like it's something that humans take for granted sometimes, because
Oh yeah.
like people do not understand, like it is such a deeply profound experience on both ends. And
Hmm.
I want to be around it more. Like I miss being around music. I'm slowly going insane. um but I
I
want to
feel
see more
that.
of that,
I think
so
that's I think that so here's my perspective on what's been going. Then I have to go, unfortunately, but this has been great.
understandable.
But but um so since like 2020 or whatever, things have just been like, you mentioned, I don't know if it was it's just been weird. And so a lot of people are like, all right, let's go play these shows, let's go to shows, let's do it like it was. And there's been a lot of resurgence of like older music,
Hmm.
or older bands, not just like in age, but like, oh, this is kind of popular again, the style's popular again, rock music's back again, whatnot, punk rock, whatever. And it's a part of that whole what you mentioned before about kind of a nostalgic feeling of the songs.
Yeah.
And I think there's something deeper going on with that as well, which hopefully with Rocket Suit Rogue, it's kind of new but also familiar,
Yeah. No,
which
it
is,
is it is for me at least. And I've seen some of your fans online saying the same thing, where they're like, this is so nostalgic. It feels like my childhood. That's what it is. Listening to Rocket Suit Rogue feels like reliving my childhood in the best parts of it. Like
that's
I
awesome.
don't know what it was about our last parade when you first put it out there, but oh my
Hmm.
god, I literally had this flashback to the. It's funny because I know it's not related, and like I don't know, call me a weirdo fangirl if you will, but when I was like 7 or 8, walking to like first grade from daycare, one of my friends had a
Yep,
boombox and he was listening to Zebrahead, and I was
that's
so
amazing.
I was so excited because we had just watched their debut music video like the day before,
Hmm.
and something about walking to school on this particular day, it had to have been like August or September. It was still very summery out. There was lots of greenery, and we were just kind of walking. And I have this
Right.
memory burned into my mind when I listen to one particular Zebrahead song. I think it's Get Back.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
something about our last parade brought that memory back. And I literally felt like
Oh,
I
that's
went backwards
awesome.
in time, and like some part of my childhood healed a little bit. But I also thought
That's
like
so
I
cool.
absolutely would have been a fan from childhood on if this was something that came out back then. And it's very much like listening to things like, Styx or Blue Oyster Cult or Genesis. It's that same sort of
Hmm.
frequency, which makes me think that, you're not just on the right path, but like this is going to transcend time and space for a lot of people. And I love that for you. I love that as a listener. I love that as
Thank
your
you.
friend. And I'm so excited. So
That's awesome. That
before I
means a
let
lot.
you,
I appreciate that.
yeah, of course. And
Come on, Sophie. Come on.
hi Sophie. I just wanted
Yeah.
to ask
She
one
wants to
last
take her
question.
time.
Yeah. Right.
Sure.
One last
Come
question
on.
before you go.
Sure.
Are
What's that?
you playing any shows coming up, and where can people find you in the physical world?
Good question. Physical world. Um, well, physical world. Let's see. Is that the internet? No, that's not the internet. That's
No, I
fake.
mean like literally going to see people in person.
Yeah, no, we have yet to play our first show.
Okay.
We're having talks on Monday. Hopefully, we'll talk about touring, but most likely it will be out in Europe first. But we'll see. We are looking to get out everywhere and any place that will have us, all over the United States, South America, Europe, Japan, everywhere. So that's what we're looking for now. I'm
Nice.
filling up her dog bowl. Hold on.
No
She's
problem.
very aggressive and hey, it's what is it, 4:45? Like you're 45 minutes late,
Oh my
jerk.
gosh.
But no, that's it's okay. But yeah, in the real world, check it out there. Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but hopefully, thinking really positive would be later this fall,
Cool.
but most likely be next year. But I'm hoping this later this fall, but we'll see. We're
Wonderful.
working on it.
Glorious. Well, I hope to see you guys this fall, and I, as you know, am more than happy to travel to come see you. But for everyone
Awesome.
listening, please go check out rocketsuitrogue.com. Give Matty a follow on the interwebs. Check out all the things. Stay tuned for their tour and get yourself some CDs and stuff. And I just want to say, I don't want to keep Sophie waiting. I know she's hungry. So give her an extra biscuit for me and say sorry.
Will
And
do.
thank you so
Will
much for
do.
joining me today, Matty. I really appreciate it. And
Of course.
I'm very excited for whatever new stuff is coming. And I can't wait to get an album at some point. And the new album comes out August 21st. So everybody tune in, hang out with that. And yeah, anything else you want to say before you go?
No, I just want to thank you very much for having me.
Of course.
And anyone that's listening, I really appreciate it. And giving Rocket Suit Rogue, or RSR, you can call it, a chance. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Alrighty, well, I will let you go, but thank you again for joining me, and I'll have this posted online soon. I'll send you the link so that you can share it if you want. I'm going to try to make some clips so you can put them online if you want. But
Sounds good to me.
So that was Matty Lewis with RSR, aka Rocket Suit Rogue, and yeah, if you have any questions or you're interested, you can absolutely just check out their social media. They are on pretty much all the social media. So let's see, we've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and X. Although I know for a fact he's more productively on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You should absolutely go check out their music videos. They're so much fun. And yeah, I have such a fun time. Matty's a very dear friend of mine. I love him very much, and I'm so glad that he was up here to talk about it. I have been waiting for this moment for so long. It's been crazy, and so I feel very fortunate and very excited that he was on here hanging out today. It's been super awesome. And yeah, so if you want to go support my friend and give the band a chance, I absolutely adore the music. It is truly something that I have not heard in a long time. It's very exciting that he has come out with Rocket Suit Rogue. I really think music is so special for people, and it's just such a glorious experience. Not enough people appreciate the music that people put in, and I really think it's great, and it's just one of my favorite experiences to connect with people through music. So if you're someone who connects adios, Matty. I'll disconnect you. Okay. So we were doing Discord and stuff for the first time today, so But yeah, it's just, I think if you are someone who's really interested in that kind of like punk rock vibe, sort of the, yeah, like a nostalgic like 90s, early 2000s kind of vibe, that is Rocket Suit Rogue. So I think that's super awesome. I'm so happy he was here to hang out with us. It's super fun. And yeah, so check them out. Check them out. They've got some great stuff. I'm so excited, you guys. I have a musical guest every day this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to have Callie from Die Shiny. I still need to do the promotions for that, but if you are interested in sort of a goth punk band, I think they're kind of like a goth rock sort of, I wouldn't say political, but they do have some, I don't know, I feel like music is pretty political, actually, and I think a lot of people don't understand that art is inherently political, and I think there are so many artists out here who have a beautifully political stance about, you know, waking people up in the world and, you know, connecting with so many folks over these shared emotions and these shared experiences. I think it's so, so, so important that we give these people a chance and you check them out. So tomorrow I'll have Callie with Die Shiny, and then Saturday I have Ether Dean. She kind of has a little bit of like an Enya vibe. I will definitely be playing some of their music over the next couple of days, and I thought maybe we would listen to Our Last Parade again. I was playing it at the beginning of my stream, but then Matty and I accidentally were talking over it, so whoopsie. Super funny time. I don't know why it went so sideways. It was the goofiest thing ever. But I thought I would play this song for y'all. Let me double check that it's actually gonna play, because I tried to pull it up the other day. I don't know. Sometimes the music works here and sometimes it doesn't. You know. And let's see. Revolution Radio. All right. So, you know what? I'm not going to play it through Apple Music. I'm going to play it through YouTube really quick. Just because I want to give them that extra view. But also it's a fun little video. And I think y'all will appreciate it. So, one moment, please. There we go. Let's see. We're gonna beep, beep. Just gonna beep. I'm still learning how to do the Twitch stuff. Alright, so this is Rocket Suit Rogue. Do not renew this YouTube thing. I don't care. Alright. Oh my gosh, why is this so low? Why is this sound so low? All right. Let's see. Just kidding. I thought I had this going. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, stream people. Red is. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Red is also a color that stimulates deep and intimate passion. It's ubiquitously used to warn and signal caution and danger as well. But today specifically, I feel like red is our color of passion. It's the color of that energy. And when I listen to Rocket Suit Rogue, I feel the color red burning through in the most productive way. I absolutely love it. I love that for you guys. Tomorrow's color is rose. We will have Die Shiny on. If you would like to check them out, you can check out my social media. I'm sharing all of their stuff. Callie will be joining us. I'm very, very excited to have them on. It's gonna be so exciting, so exciting. Yeah, anyway, stay tuned for Crypt Breaks next, and I love you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Bye!
Thank you for listening to Revolution